Okay.
First thing that my father ever taught me is that your number one priority in life is to discover and do what makes you come alive.
Ooh.
You were created for a purpose.
Yep.
You're not here by happenstance, and you've got to become who you were born to be. And if you don't know what that is, then that is the work for you to do.
Yeah.
And so my mission in life is to convince as many people as I can that they have the permission and the power to be the predominant creative force in their own lives. That's what drives me. That's what gets me up out of bed, to help awaken people to a sense of their own personal power so that they can get the most out of life and bring the most to it, man. That's what truly fires me up. I'm not doing that because I think that makes me a good person. I'm doing that because that's what makes my heart sing.
DK did it in 30 seconds, brother. He's a professional at this. Boy, I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's dive in. Because here at the table, I don't waste time. I don't do a bunch of fluff.
Yeah.
I get straight into the content. So get comfortable, drink your water, drink your coffee. Don't look at your wife because you can't get distracted. Okay? She's looking at you and she's giving you energy from, from over there in a chair. So a few weeks ago, I talked about really the difference between having a dream and a vision. And I broke it down like, hey, everything does start with the dream, but sooner or later that dream has to become a vision. And how do we go from dreaming to actually practically doing this? I want to ask you this because you're about helping people define their purpose. What do you do when you don't know what your dream is?
Yeah. Well, you've got to discover what makes you come alive before you decide what you're going to commit to.
Okay.
And one of the main problems I see with the way a lot of people approach dreams is they treat find your passion as if it's some sort of philosophical puzzle for them to figure out. Maybe I'll take a survey and ask everyone what they think. Maybe I'll read a bunch of books. Maybe I'll meditate and introspect. And once I figure out the puzzle, what I want to do, I'll go out there and do it. And that's not how life works that way.
Okay.
Imagine what dating would be like if we did that.
Ooh.
Imagine if we went on a date, and on the very first date, we're sitting there thinking, hey, is this going to be my husband? Is this going to be my wife? Imagine if you're 19 years old and you're tormenting yourself trying to figure out who you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't know the answer to that question. The way you get the answer to that question is by being willing to go on a date. How about just flirting with someone you like first?
Ooh.
How about just asking someone out for a cup of coffee and seeing how the first conversation goes? Well, if that doesn't work out, knowing what you don't like is immensely valuable. If it does work out, hey, don't get married yet. How about a second conversation?
Ooh.
It's a process of discovery. Okay. You explore, you experiment, you try things out, you find out things about yourself, and that's where the guidance comes from. So what I would say to anybody who feels like, well, I want to do what I love, but I don't know what I love, I would say don't force yourself to find your passion. Instead, start with your curiosities and follow those. If you're interested in choir, just try it. See what it feels like.
Yeah.
You want to take a math class, but you're not sure you want to do math for the rest of your life? Take a math class. Try it. Some things are going to be more enjoyable than you would have anticipated. Some things less enjoyable. And eventually that knowledge begins to come together. And one day you wake up and you say, man, I'm in love with this person and I want to spend the rest of my life with them. But you didn't get there by solving an intellectual puzzle. You got there through experience, by being willing to try things before you knew what you would end up doing for the rest of your life.
How old are you now, TK?
I'm 44.
44.
I'll be 44 in November. Let me give myself that extra.
You don't look like it, brother. I'm just going to be real. I was like, dang, TK 44. Wait, I thought you were younger than me. But nah, you got swag. What's your dream now as a married man at 44 years old?
So for me at this stage of my life, my dream and my sense of mission are one and the same.
Okay.
And my goal in life is to really help other people make sense out of their own dreams.
Okay.
I have given myself the permission to try everything that I want to try in life. And so I don't have any dreams that I haven't tried.
Yeah.
Bro, I auditioned for American Idol and did not win.
Yeah.
I've been on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader and made a fool out of myself on national TV. Every girl that I have ever liked, I asked her out. And a lot of them said no, right? Everything that I wanted to try, I have tried. And so I know what it's like to go after the things that you want. And I want to help other people embrace the beauty and the power and the wisdom and the joy that comes from giving themselves permission to just go after what God has put in their hearts.
Yeah. What about on the family side? Any dreams on that side for you, your wife, your family?
Oh, yeah, man. We want to have children.
Okay.
And I would look at that as the greatest extension of that dream that I just described.
Yeah.
To give that gift of faith and give that gift of love to children. My wife and I, we get along so well. We're great friends. We're great partners. And I would love to know what it's like to experience my wife as the mother of my children.
Ooh.
I would love to know what it's like to have that partnership with her.
She's smiling at you right now. I just want you to know, don't look at it, but she's smiling at you.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear you talk about that, TK, man, you know, that's my dream. And a lot of people may be not really surprised. I think when it comes to the career aspect, that's second. You know, when I think about my ultimate dream is I remember little kids. I remember pictures being, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, my mom would say. And I remember pictures of my parents struggling. I remember pictures of me, my mom, and my father in California having to sleep on the couch that turned into a bed, you know, at nighttime. But then at daytime, like bed turned into a couch and we slept on it. You know, I remember struggling and driving a van with no seats in the back because we just didn't have the funds to get it. And so when I remember all that stuff, you know, I grew up with great loving parents, some strong parents who have made me the man I am today. But then also I remember not having the things that I wanted. Not being able to have some of the things that we needed when we needed them. Eventually we got them, but not exactly when we needed them. I remember seeing my mom cry sometimes because, you know, she was kind of hurt that her kids say this Christmas wasn't a good Christmas. We didn't get everything we wanted. I remember not going out of the country, not having family vacations. And my ultimate dream is I want to be the best father, you know, the best husband to my family. The ultimate dream for me when I think about this is I came into the world crying, but I'm going to leave this world smiling. And I'm going to be looking up at my wife and my kids and their spouses and hopefully their kids. And I'm smiling because I'm leaving my family with wealth, with joy, with peace, with freedom. I want my wife to be like, yo, my husband served not just you all in the community, but before he served you all in the community to help you all get out of debt, to help you accomplish your dreams and your goals and success, he served us at home well.
Yeah.
And it's like that dream just inspires me to go. And so when I hear you talking about just get out there and just be curious, you know, my dreams came from what I saw. And then when I came over here to this world that I'm in with the Dave Ramseys, the Mark Cubans, and the Bishop T.D. Jakes and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Over here, growing up, I didn't experience this. But when I stepped out and I started seeing, yo, you can be financially free. I can drive a real nice car, be debt-free. I can have nice things and not live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, that taste changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And so when you say go out there and really experience it, whoo, brother, I fell in love with this debt-free life. But we're not here to talk about money today.
Well, can I say one piece about that?
Go ahead, talk to me. We got time, brother.
I love everything you just said because we need to at least spend a minute on this because I feel like whenever the subject of financial literacy and financial education comes up, especially in Christian context, that message is often rebuked as, oh, you're just preaching the prosperity gospel and you're telling people that everybody needs to own 5 cars and 5 houses.
Come on, TK.
And I think one of the best ways to diminish the truth and keep people from receiving things that are going to bring freedom into their lives is to oversimplify it and attack a straw man.
Okay.
Most of the people that I meet that are passionate about financial education have stories like you, where you know what it means to wrestle with anxiety and frustration because of a lack of resources. And I don't believe that God has called any of us to live in financial anxiety. Jesus was talking about something when he said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all else will be added unto you. Now, I agree with my brothers who say when he was talking about the all else, he didn't mean you'll own 5 cars. But he was talking about something.
Yes.
He was calling us to a life of inner freedom where we feel like we are capable of doing what God has called us to do without feeling like we need the permission of money. Like, I'm sorry, but if a lack of money is capable of defeating the promises of God, then you've got to ask yourself, whose promises are you really following? One of the best definitions of prosperity I've ever heard is prosperity is having enough of God's provisions to complete his instructions for your life.
Yes, sir.
I also heard it said, where Jesus leads, Jesus feeds. I also heard it said, where God guides, God provides. Elijah didn't have $1 million. He didn't have a bank account, okay? He didn't have 5 cars. But when he was alone, how am I going to eat? God says, I'm going to send you a raven.
Come on, man.
And the raven will feed you. And I see the message of Scripture all throughout the Bible is I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. Everybody's going to have a different amount of resources, but if God has called you to do something, you better believe it, that when you walk the path that wears your name and go the places that God has called you to go, even the seas will part so that you can go where you need to go and do what you need to do, if that's what's required. God's provision always accompanies God's purposes. So don't dismiss the importance of financial literacy and financial education as just some oversimplified message of everybody needs to be a millionaire irrespective of their calling in life.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. That was The Table with TK Coleman, where we keep it real, relevant, and relatable.